Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea. Welcome to Little Mountain Ranch. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm really happy to have you here with me today. I have a fun video planned for us today. We are going to make one of my very favorite recipes, Christmas baking recipes, and that is my grandmother's Sunburst lemon bars. They are so good. Oh, and there's my stove letting me know it's come up to temperature. I have it set at 350 degrees for this recipe. We are also going to go outside in a little bit and I'm going to introduce you to a surprise new animal that we have here on our farm that we were not expecting until February, but she came early, so I'm going to go introduce you to her. We're also going to get up to doing a little bit of microgreen planting. I got this new kit, a microgreen starter kit the other day, and I wanted to plant that with you. And we'll also go out and check out the cabin. It is just about entirely finished, the deck going all the way around, and it looks fantastic, so I can't wait to show you that. Before we get into the video though, I did want to share with you that I'm doing a giveaway, a Christmas giveaway over on for my newsletter subscribers. And the reason that we decided to do it through the newsletter is because doing giveaways through YouTube and Instagram seems to attract a lot of spammers and it gets kind of hard to manage it. So we decided to do it through our newsletter, and the first prize is a 4 jars pressure canner and some canning lids. And then the second prize is one of these wool, Simply Merino wool sweaters that I'm wearing that I'm absolutely addicted to, a tin of Nutri-Store freeze-dried food, and some seeds from West Coast Seeds. So if you are interested in signing up for that giveaway, all you have to do is sign up for my newsletter, and the link is down in the show notes below. So now let's get into making these delicious bars. So we're going to do 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a half a cup of icing sugar, 1 cup of butter, okay, so you want to mix your crust up so it's nice and crumbly like this, and then we're going to press this into the bottom of a 9 by 13 pan, and then we're going to push this down into the bottom of this nice and evenly. And we're going to bake this for 20 to 30 minutes, just until it's golden brown in a 350 degree oven. And now, while that's baking in the oven, we are going to plant some seeds, which I always like doing in the winter time because it makes me feel a little less despondent. I am a summer person through and through. I've never tried these hemp fiber grow mats before for growing microgreens. So this is a typical microgreen tray. So there is holes in the tray that you put either your soil, or in this case, the fiber mats into, and then one for catching the water, and this one just fits nicely inside of that, like so. Okay, so ooh, these are a little crumbly little pieces coming off of here. So now we're gonna take our mats and lay them in. I didn't realize they were so thin. And these are totally biodegradable, so they can go right into our compost. Definitely messy though, so just keep that in mind if you are going to try these. These ones are from West Coast Seeds, this whole kit, along with the seeds that I'm going to be using today as well. Okay, let's make sure that we're following the instructions here. Oh, stuff all over me now. Okay, put the grow mats in the tray, sprinkle recommended seed ratio, wet it, stack them, put the humidity dome on top, and then place them under lights when the light starts coming up, or when the seeds start to germinate. So let's do, I have some arugula, peas, and kale, but I think I'm gonna go with peas. I love pea sprouts. Okay, so we want to keep these in the dark for just till they start to germinate, and then we'll put them in under the lights. And for those of you that are new here, I'll take you down and show you my grow room space that I have set up downstairs. So this says to have them a centimeter or so apart. So we can go pretty thick on here. There's a little bit of space here that I'm actually putting my water into so I don't dislodge all these seeds. And I'm just going to keep filling it up until these pads are nice and wet. And then I will let you guys know in about 5 days how these are doing. And then this little kit comes with the dome. It's another tray. These are pretty convenient. You know, I think what I'm going to do is soak these down first before I put the seeds on. They do absorb water nicely. And some arugula. All right, let's bring these down to the grow room. This is my grow room space here, and this is where I start all of the seeds for my garden every year and where we grow microgreens in the winter time. So I have my trays set up here. I am going to put a cover on both of these ones, not a dome like this. I actually don't use domes like this, but this one came with the kit. So I'm going to use it this time, and we'll see if there's a difference between the germination rates, but I'm actually just going to put another tray, like a dark tray, over top of both of these until they start germinating, and then we'll take it off. In the meantime, we're going to shut off all of the grow lights here. So we'll keep our lights off. As you can see, it's nice and warm in here. It's 28 degrees Celsius. It stays nice and warm in this room. It's fully insulated. And this is actually the same kind of board that they use on hockey arenas. So it's plastic. So we don't have issues with the humidity and moisture that gets in this room getting into the rest of our house. If our humidity levels get higher than we have them set for, this fan that's up here will turn on and exhaust out some of that humidity from this space. I love having this grow room. I have been growing in this actual space that's right here probably for 8 years, starting my seeds, but it wasn't a closed off room as it is now, and it wasn't insulated and humidity controlled and all of that for a long time, and worked well enough. But having it like this, especially where it can stay nice and warm in here for all the seeds to germinate, has been so awesome. I cannot wait to get the grow room planted for all of my seedlings for the 2024 garden. So excited about it. So we're just going to get our filling going for our lemon bars. These are so good, my friends. For the recipe, I will have it, where will I put it? I'll probably put it over on my website. It's also available in my cookbook, and we are going to do a sale for my digital cookbook. The print edition isn't going to be available again until January, but I have a digital version of it, which I actually really like because you can just click on the recipes and it'll bring you straight to the recipe. So we're going to have a Christmas sale for that cookbook over on my website if you just want the whole entire cookbook with a lot of my recipes in it and a lot of my Christmas dessert recipes as well. But you can just use a pen and paper too and take it down from today's video. So we are going to add 4 eggs to our bowl. So we're just going to lightly beat our eggs just until they're mixed up nicely. 2 cups of sugar. Quarter cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, quarter cup of lemon juice, and some zest as well. Mix this all together. There's our lovely yellow filling. So we're just going to let our crust cool down for just a couple minutes, and then we're going to pour our filling on top, and we're going to bake it again for another 25 minutes or so until it's set. And while it is baking, we will go outside and I'll introduce you to the new baby that was born on the farm yesterday morning. Before we go outside, I shared with you in my last video that I was considering painting these upper cabinets the same sage green color that we've painted the lower cabinets. We did this a couple weeks ago now. We did get all of the copper hardware put on, and I absolutely love it. So several of you suggested in that video, and I don't know why this didn't occur to me, to just take one of the other doors and put it up there to see whether or not I liked it, because I was just a little bit concerned that maybe the sage green against this log wouldn't look super great, and also that it might be a little bit too much. And then a couple of other people suggested that I paint a piece of cardboard and tape it up on there, which if I didn't have a couple of extra doors, because I still haven't put the doors on the island that you're sitting on right now, then I probably would do that. But I wanted to show you how it looks up there. And we have decided to go with the green on the upper cabinets. And I think when I show you, you'll see why. Okay, I'm just gonna hold this one up so that you can see how it's going to look against that. And I just think it looks so beautiful. And I feel like with this green and the green down here, it's just a really soft and inviting and calming feeling that it gives the entire kitchen. So the original reason why I was thinking I would maybe leave them white, our living room, kitchen, and dining room area are all one big space. So whatever we did color-wise in the kitchen, we wanted to make sure that it would go with everything that we have in the living room. So you can't actually see the green cupboards from the couch when you're sitting over there. And the white obviously goes with anything. So I thought that that might be a better option, but it actually looks really pretty with the green over there. I just love it. So my project later today is to strip off the paint off of these cupboards. I just find that when I am going to be doing kitchen cupboards in particular, that stripping off the old paint and then sanding it makes the new paint adhere so much better to the cupboards. And because it's such a high traffic area, we want to make sure that it's not going to scratch easily or anything. So I'm going to get those stripped. So by the next time we're together, hopefully, if all goes according to plan, these cupboards should be this beautiful sage green. And I also found that because we did put the brass handles on the white cupboards up here just to kind of see what it was going to look like. And I didn't like it as much as I did with the brass handles on the green. I just absolutely love the way that the brass handles look. It just feels very kind of 1930s kitchen to me, and it reminds me a lot of my grandmother's kitchen, so I absolutely love it. And as far as the backsplash goes, we're going to be doing white tile. We had originally thought that we would do subway tile, and but once we laid the subway tile out on there, it just didn't fit nicely, so we're actually going to do some smaller round tiles. They're really cute. We don't have them yet, but for the backsplash, and then we're going to keep the 1970s countertop because I actually really like it, and it's not in desperate need of being replaced. It probably could. There's a few cut marks and things in it, but it's good enough to last us for another couple years. We have been wanting to put a tall, skinny shelf beside the stove here. I've shared about this on a couple of videos, and several people mentioned that because the stove's right there, the amount of splash and stuff that would be getting onto that shelf would make it really difficult. Even if it had a glass door on it, I would be forever cleaning it. Or if they were open and I had anything on there that could be damaged by food splatter, that wouldn't work either. And the whole reason that I wanted something there was to have a place to display all my antique cookbooks. So we obviously don't want those to get damaged. So what we have actually decided to do, And we played around with this the other day. I just brought one of our other little roller trolleys over here so that you could see, but Dan's going to build a countertop here with a shelf on this side to put all my cookbooks in so that they're protected. And then this will just be another countertop, so it'll be really easy to wash. It will give me a little bit more counter space, which in my kitchen is a good thing. A little bit of any extra bit of counter space is fantastic. It'll give me a really nice place to display all my cookbooks. They will be seen from that side of the house, so from the living room side, but they'll also be easily accessible to me here in the kitchen, which I love. And on the note of antique cookbooks, I have a whole bunch of these newspaper clippings along with handwritten recipe cards from the 1920s and the 1930s that came in a couple of cookbooks that Dan bought for me last year. And I really want to actually be able to use these recipes. I just love them. They're so good. I'm going to be sharing lots more with you this coming up winter. This is one that we made together last year that was the Pennsylvania Dutch pot pie, also called Bot Boy, which turned out to be one of my kids' favorite of all of the antique recipes that I've tried. So this is one that I want to actually preserve and also be able to use. So I found on Amazon these really cool binder cookbooks. And I got this one specifically because I thought it looked really vintage, and it actually has a cloth cover on it. I bought a bunch of these plastic sleeves, and then I have put all of the newspaper clippings in these plastic sleeves so that I can actually use them. Isn't that so cool? I love it so much. So now they won't get damaged when I'm using them, and I'm not going to have to handle them like I was before. And then the other thing that I did is, because a lot of these recipe cards came from specific individuals that I've been able to identify through just doing research. A lot of you helped me actually last winter. So I'm going to put a write-up in each section about the information that I found from each of these people. And then I'm going to add a section for my recipes at the back in my own notes. This Ball Blue book is one of the original canning books from Ball. I think this one, let me double check the year on this one. This is a grocery notebook, and it is from, let me double check the age here, 1887. Is that not just incredible? So now it is protected in here for future generations. This is such a treasure for me. Little tiny change of plans, because I've been yakking at you about that cookbook, and now we only have 9 minutes left. So we'll wait and take that out and let it cool, because we do need to cool it before we cut it and ice it. So we'll let that cool off while we're outside. And then by the time we come back in, we'll be able to cut into it and put some glaze on it. It's above 0 degrees out here right now. So again, gorgeous weather, just beautiful. Sun is shining, and just checking the weather forecast, we have freezing or just above freezing for the next 10 days. I think we're still just hovering right around freezing with virtually no snow. We had one little snowfall. This is just a skiff, really, a couple of days ago, and that's been it for snow this year. So remember when I showed you Patty over here and told you that I had separated him from his mama, who is milkweed, because I knew she was due to calve in February. That's what we had been told by the dairy that we bought her from. So he has been, oh, actually he's out with the main herd now because, hi pigs, because milkweed is no longer out with the main herd. I'll explain that in a minute. But he's down over here, but he was in here with the pigs because we didn't want him nursing anymore. I wanted to give milkweed a break before her new calf was born. But yesterday, I'm going to show you what we found. Hi, milkweed. This is milkweed. She is one of my favorite dairy cows. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, there she is. Look, you guys, look what we have. Hi, sweet girl. So this little girl here One of my daughters named her Blossom, and she, I'm going to guess, is going to look very much like her mama. She's probably going to get the brindle coloring as she gets older. Isn't she so sweet? She has long red eyelashes, little pink nose. So yes, she was born sometime night before last, because by morning when we found her, she was up and running around and nursing well and just looking so sweet. So she was not supposed to be born until February. So obviously the farm had their dates wrong, because she came early and she was obviously fully developed, so she wasn't premature or anything like that. She is a little tiny calf, but she has been doing awesome, bouncing around. Super sweet little girl. And very awesome because she is a heifer, a female calf, so we'll be able to raise her up and either sell her as a milk cow in the future or keep her as a replacement milk cow for us. And I'm really happy because with this really warm weather, she is having no issues at all. Obviously, she has lots of bedding here to lay on, but this kind of temperature is perfectly fine for calves. And in behind here we have our Romney sheep, and our girls are all due at the end of February. So that's usually a pretty cold month. So they will be going inside the barn for lambing. And this beautiful girl here is Ivy. She is 27 years old, so she's getting up there in the years. I am happy with how she is looking though. She actually put on a lot of nice weight over the summer, being on all of the fresh grass. So she's looking fantastic. I don't have any worries about her condition at all. So normally we wait at least a week for the baby to be able to get all the colostrum from mama, and then we'll separate the baby at night and milk mama in the morning. And that way the baby gets to stay with her and we don't have to bottle feed and all of that. And if we want to go away, we can just not separate. It's just very convenient for us. But normally my milk cows have a huge udder right after they have their babies, and she really doesn't. This is the first time, because we just got her in the spring, the first time we've ever seen her go through the calving process. So we'll see how she does when it comes to actually being milked and how much milk we end up getting. Normally we would not have our cows and our horses in with our hay. Right now we don't have anywhere else to put her and Ivy so that they are not with the main herd, but still having free access to hay. So I think we're probably going to have to move them up into this pen and just do a bit of repairs on the fence, because otherwise they are going to destroy all our winter hay, and that's not good. Hi, Boba. That's Boba up there enjoying some sun. Before we go inside and ice those delicious lemon bars, which I just cannot wait to eat, I'll go up and show you how the bunkie is coming along. We bought this propane heater a couple of years ago for my greenhouse, but with the exhaust, it was just awful in the greenhouse, so we couldn't use it for that. But
took a little spot on.
But he got it set up so we can paint the frame and have it actually dry when it's this cold. So let me show you how this is looking from the front here. So this is the deck, and then the deck's going to wrap around the side of the cabin, and it's going to have black fascia on it, the same as along the edge of the roof of the cabin, and then nice wide steps coming down here. The one nice thing about having really wide steps like this is that we could have the flower pots coming down each side. It'd be really easy to move things in and out. Well, it's just because they would be wide, and then we could put flower pots on each side of it, you know, and still have lots of space for walking up and down. What do you guys think? Should we go wide steps like this, or like half this size, more like 4 feet? And I personally think they would look good on the front like this, rather than on the side, just because we're going to be walking up to it from here. Like this is going to be the parking area, right? We are going to put railing around the side, and it's going to have black spindles on it. We have to redo the deck on the main house, so we're going to have them matching. So the reason that we're painting all underneath it black is just to help to protect that wood, because the wood that we have that's on the top of the deck here is treated, but the wood underneath is not. So we're painting it just to protect it from rotting. And then because all the accents on the cabin are black, that's why we decided to paint it black underneath. The other thing that we're contemplating now is what accent color we want on all the buildings, outside of the black trim. But we're thinking of painting the front door like a sagey green color, which I'm sure comes as a big surprise. It's one of my favorite colors. Or maybe just doing kind of a traditional red front door. So that would mean that the main house would have a matching front door, the other cabin that we're working on, the barn and all of that, and then this little cabin as well. So definitely give me your suggestions and your ideas for what accent color we should do, because we will be doing that in the spring, painting all that stuff, and then also staining the outside of this cabin. We won't be able to do that now because it is too cold, but we're thinking probably just a clear stain on it to protect it, but we are open to the idea of staining it like a color even. I've seen some other bunkies that have been done like painted, and they look really, really cute. So we're not set in stone what we're doing with that yet. We also have to do the logs on our house, which I'm sure you've noticed as we've walked past there over the years, but they're just getting worse and worse. And obviously we don't want them to start to rot or anything. So one of our projects for the spring is to also refinish the outside of the house. They're starting to gray quite badly, so it really does need to be done. Do you remember the other day when we made stroganoff together and I made too much rice? And then I said that I was going to make a rice pudding for breakfast. And then the next day, my kids decided that they wanted, I think it was an apple cinnamon oatmeal with caramel. So I still had the rice, and then I was going to do something else with it. So I never did end up doing anything with the rice. I just froze it. So we're just making a quick Mexican rice, reheating up all the rice on the stove over there, and then cooking up some beans and some onions to go on top of it. We'll have it with some lettuce, some sour cream, and some salsa. So that is a nice quick lunch. Our lemon bar is cooled enough. It's not entirely cooled, but it's cooled enough. And my daughter made some quick frosting, and all this is the juice of the lemons that we took the zest from, and some icing sugar. So really, really, really simple. And we're just going to drizzle that over top of our lovely lemon bars. You want to lick the fork? Sure. So these are pretty sweet, so you don't want to put a ton of glaze on them, just a little bit. I need a spoon, so you get the fork right now. There you go. You're welcome. Okay, I think that is probably sufficient. So let's cut a piece out. I actually learned of this recipe from my aunt. She made it for me when I was probably 10 or 11 years old. It was the first time that I had it, and it's been one of my favorites ever since. You really want to wait until it's totally cool before you cut into it. I'm being impatient here. Are you someone who likes the edge of any type of bar, or do you prefer a middle piece? When it is something with a lot of sugar in it where it gets kind of chewy and crunchy around the outside, I definitely am an edge person. Absolutely delicious. This is the first Christmas recipe I have made this year. My kids have made Christmas bark and crazy candy, which is another one of our fun recipes I'll probably share with you over the next week or so, but this is the first that I have done. So now it feels like Christmas has officially begun. All right, friends, that is it for today's video. I would really encourage you to give those lemon bars a try. They are absolutely fantastic. And like I said, I'm going to be sharing a whole bunch of Christmas recipe videos with you over the next couple of weeks. So there'll be a lot more videos than you're used to seeing from my channel, but they will be quite a bit shorter than usual just because I'm going to share primarily just the recipe itself. So you can look forward to that. And I will also create a Christmas baking playlist where I'll put all of these videos for you. I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.